Welcome to the Progression of Species podcast. My name's Lyndon Anlezark, and today I'm going to cover Carhills Crossing, Barramundi. Barramundi are an iconic fish species painted on cave walls in Australia, potentially for 20 to even 50,000 plus years. Absolutely revered here. That's one of my iconic fish species. When I was young, I was casting overhead like lassoing or helicopter casting with a hand line and a 6-inch Nils Master lure with a mighty barra, and my earliest memories are cooking them on campfires with Aboriginal Australians, mum and dad, and out on remote cattle stations. So we just couldn't wait to go fishing. Adventure plus. And I'm glad it's always stayed like that in a memory in my mind. But the fish, they're a smart animal by themselves. People say fish are dumb, but those barramundi there at Carhills Crossing swim down past 200 crocodiles or more, feed, then go back, or feed right next to them. Do you think us humans can do that? So the Jacques Cousteau, I remember reading a lot of his stuff back in the day, and he was always amazed about that sensory system called the lateral line down the side. Yeah, incredible. And once you really, really get to whatever level it is, but a higher level in fishing and an understanding of how hard these fish are to catch at times, or how wised up they can be, and doing a lot of fishing history and evolution in my life, and working out animal systems to see a fish pick up the difference between rattles and lures and tail actions in soft plastics. And it was just, have 1 degree lines of hunting and exact couple of minute sequences and tides over 6, 12 or 24 hours. Once you got to that level, and water salinity, bait hatchings, water current, water flow, season, barometer, amazing. Like really, once you started layering all that up and seeing all of these fundamentals all line up, and if people that didn't have them didn't catch fish, and the ones that did, that's when you started to really see, I guess you could say. And even though it'd be like 1% of the whole equation humans would ever see, just on light spectrums alone. So that's how technical fishing can be. And then when you have to teach a human to fish as well, an uncoordinated human, on unstable rocks in 37 degrees with something to cast, they could, hook someone with, and you need to be hitting buckets with those casts, and crocodiles around you and fish, and you have to not only deceive the fish, you have to fight it and land it as well on top of all that. It's really super hard. Then you try and teach that person the 6 seasons, to understand what the fish are going to do, where they're going to be, to predict it before you even get there, prepare all your equipment before you get there, and then have the human body deliver that. That's not easy. That's one of the more complex sports on the planet when you compare it to an air conditioning sport, indoors, with a ball, in all due respect. Have a think about that. Yeah, so amazing, barramundi. And what is interesting is the paintings, when we point at them on tour, have detailed anatomy and physiology lessons within. So you see the stomach, you see all the skeletal outline, the flesh and the fat, all maybe in different colors. So very, very interesting. You'll see a lot of different fish species painted on the walls, and the mullet will be painted there as well. And if you're doing a tour to Ubia Rock is just down from Carhills Crossing, a few kilometres. Spectacular rock art there and views. You might see mullet with their head snapped off. So traditional hunting, traditional rock bar previously before the road there at Carhills Crossing. And mullet may have been caught there, so their head snapped off so they don't get away. Lunch doesn't swim back into the river. You might be interested in fish, you might not be, but I just thought I'd cover that. And fish do wise up. I've seen fish not hit an acre of lures, like an acre of fish, not hit specific lures, and then they might eat something else. And then I see the bite change day in, day out, day in, day out. And anglers pick up on that, or other anglers don't. Before this, you might be hunting with fish traps and spear. So 1 spear throw, 1 fish. And I remember seeing someone I've worked with previously on tour, Gleeson from Gunbalanya community, just across over there, maybe 20 odd kilometres into Arnhem Land, wait for 15 minutes with a spear in his hand with little kids around, and then he hit a fish first throw going across the crossing. That's pretty cool hunting. That was awesome. I put the cameras down, didn't even film it. And ironically later he said, "Oh, did you film that?" I wish I did. But anyway, cool moment to have in my head. Awesome to see. And yeah, fishing at its purest, that is beautiful. And it means a lot in the outback. If you don't know much about outback culture, a lot of Australian culture, up north especially, we deal with barramundi economies. So if you take a barramundi over someone's place, or have fillets or cook it up, it's a really big deal, especially with traditional people. Okay, and the Asiatic region, beautiful people come down there, and we live in northern Australia, and we cook up all types of fish soup, from northern Thailand soups to tom yums to the whole kit, to salted barramundi in the oven. Best food in my life. We're not allowed to throw any fish frames or heads in the bin. It's fish head soup. We're in big trouble for doing that. And so it's a great culture, great way of life up north. And the mangoes are on at this time of the year, and the green mango, very, very popular as well. So we take those items around. And the magpie geese are out as well at the moment. They're called flying rib fillets in the north. And they are revered as well for original people. And they're also painted. You might see the magpie goose painted on cave walls when you're touring up in the Northern Territory. But that was a quick snapshot of barramundi. So everyone travelling from southern Australia that's remotely into fishing would know about the barramundi, would have heard of barra, and a lot of people want to catch one when they go north. Just to give you a heads up there. So great fish, can grow apparently to 1.8 metres on the CSIRO chart and 50 odd kilos. I know I've documented mid 45 kilo, so 1.4 plus metre fish, several of those. The huge fish, and they're very hard to catch depending on where you are, especially in the salt water near crocodiles. That fish would test most people, and a great challenge. But it's a really big way of life in the north. Okay, fishing and outdoors is a huge way of life in the Northern Territory. I can't put it any less important, and I would say it would be probably the major hobby. And fishing apparently is the biggest hobby in Australia. 4 million people go fishing apparently, which is a cool thing in one way if it's done sustainably and people are outdoors, okay, camping as well. And I just want you to know that in the north, it's still a hunting and gathering food item and revered in that way. All right, so it's a very, very cool thing to be cooking barramundi up or give barramundi as a gift. All right. There it is, a snapshot on a little bit of our fishing culture. If you head up north, you might be able to hook up with a fishing guide and catch one of those, or when you see those fish caught, you might understand what it is. There's limits on barramundi, so about 55 centimetres plus it needs to be. Make sure it's a bit over. We always sort of catch them up near 57 just to be sure, and they're really good tasting at that size. Big ones in many river systems now are encouraged to be put back in the system, okay, above 90, say, centimetres, and definitely over a metre, and there are different catch rates as well in different rivers, so make sure you look up those charts. They're usually stuck up with signs at the different waterways, okay, but I'd be looking them up in the Northern Territory before you head out fishing, because each river might have a different law. All right, that's it. A little bit of an intro on barramundi. People travel from all southern states in Australia, sometimes each dry season, to catch a barramundi. People fly up in the runoff season, March, April, to catch barramundi, and we have the $1 million barramundi competition running from about October to March now each year. And the first winner in about 8 or 9 seasons, the 9th season I think it was, this year, caught a barramundi early in 2024. So the $1 million went off. So no one can tell him he went fishing too much, and his fishing for him is worth $1 million. I'm sure he's got plenty of friends now. But all the best. I do have a lot more information about fishing. I do a lot of stuff in that area, so you'll probably be able to look for my work in that in the future. Lyndon's Fishing online. I don't really promote that too much at the moment, but I do work in that area a lot. Okay, I still write articles. I still work on systems. I still write each week for that. Let me know if you want to hear more in that area. I'm trying to keep fishing away from this section though, because it's usually sort of the section that's not in to personal development of human behaviour in one way, but in the higher end of it, a lot of people are. I've met a lot of very switched on anglers, very professional people as well. So there might be a bigger silent majority out there that are interested in all realms, humankind, natural world, fish, okay, and sustainable hunting and gathering. But all the best if you're heading to the Northern Territory. I hope you do catch a barramundi, or at least eat a barramundi and chips. There's some really cool barramundi and chip outlets all through the NT. And if you fish, make sure you're doing it sustainably, please. Thank you.